actually, as I grew up, I became aware that freedom was not given to all people and that all people were not equal. And I realized that as I got older and I grew, I realized that for many groups, in particular women and children, and all over the world, different marginalized groups did not have the same access to resources or to freedom. So this has always been a fundamental driver for me, that all groups are given access to all things, and that freedom is the number one right as humans in this world and on this planet, and that everybody should have freedom. It's something that I take very, very seriously when some person or a group of people have power over another and have the right to tell somebody else what is happening spiritually, emotionally, socially. So whatever I've done in my life has been around working within that dynamic to support people to become free. And, there's lots of this really positive conversation about how we're seeing isolation as a beautiful gift. It's not about somebody saying you must be isolated. That is the fact, we hear that. But also in us saying we decide to take space for ourselves and honor ourselves in that space. And we look, and we choose to use that as a yin time of development, of really checking in and dropping into the self, seeing what actually needs to be done. The most vulnerable populations, which is Indigenous women and children, as well as, of course, all women and children. In terms of that, we're working with some of the most vulnerable populations on the planet. How we take care of our vulnerable populations is how we are as a community, how we are as a species, how we are as a society, how we take care of our earth. It's all connected. So for me, my concern, if there is one, is that those that are currently vulnerable and have less access to resources than others are even more impacted. If you can imagine that somebody who may have been wanting to leave their situation because of the escalation of violence, maybe looking for pathways to leave the situation, suddenly they're in quarantine or they're being locked down. If we go to level 4, then they are actually in a situation with a perpetrator where they cannot leave. So for women and children that are already vulnerable without access to the resources that most of us enjoy are suddenly more vulnerable as well. So this is a huge issue, and also it really nicely fits into the fact that there's other groups that are marginalised as well. In particular here in Perth and WA, we have a big homeless community as well. So if we think about that in terms of access to resources, what does isolation mean for someone that's sleeping under a tree?